here with my buddy Sean, aka Rare2JZ, and he's going to tell us about his 93.5 Toyota Supra.
So it's an MK4, 1993.5. It is a factory 6-speed turbo car, factory hardtop wingless, red with tan interior. The car is tons of fun to drive, and it was honestly one of my dream cars growing up. So I made sure that I was able to find one later on. I've had it for about 2 years now.
So what exactly got you into, I guess, tuner cars?
To be honest, I always grew up around cars. My dad had a 1970 Chevelle when I was younger. Just hanging out with him and working on his car got me into cars. And then growing up, seeing the different crowds of individuals, I kind of gravitated towards other guys with cars. People that I feel like have cars and work on them have like a good work ethic. You got to be working hard to make money to even afford these type of cars.
Real.
And people in the car scene are true people. They'll come help you out. If your car breaks down, if you need anything, they're willing to literally step up and help. So I met a bunch of good people on the way, and I just enjoy having cars that I have fun driving.
Was this your first, I guess, tuner car?
No. So first tuner car, I'd say it was my 2005 S2000, single turbo. Had that for about a year, I'd say. And then I've had a bunch of cars. I have another S2000 that's stock. This is my first high horsepower tuner car, I'd say. Growing up, I've always wanted a Supra, like in high school, couldn't afford it. And luckily I found this thing out in Southampton about 2 years ago from the original owner, some Italian guy.
That's awesome. So it's a local car, Long Island car?
Yeah, I think it was originally Cali, and then he shipped it out here, and it was in New York for like 12 or 13 years sitting in storage. I ended up finding it on the Supra forum. I was on the Supra forum, like looking around. I was on like page like 15 or 20, and honestly, all the cars are sold. For some reason, I just clicked on this one, and I noticed that there wasn't anything that said sold. I just randomly sent him an email at like 1 in the morning because I was up, and he wrote back within like 10 minutes. Said it was still available.
That's awesome. So you've always kind of had modified cars in the past?
Yeah,
you
usually
really don't leave anything stock?
No, not for the most part. It's either like I lower it with a nice like set of wheels on it, or I go all out and build a motor, do a big turbo. And then you get so used to it, it's just like a never-ending project. You always
Never
just want
done,
to change.
right?
Yeah, it's never done. You always want to change something, whether it be a bigger turbo, different wheels. This car, I have a bunch of things that I want to do to it still, honestly.
So let's get into, I guess we'll get into what's done under the hood.
You want me to pop it?
So as you were just saying, it's pretty much stock, huh?
Yeah, so this is the way it comes from the factory. No, I don't think there's honestly anything stock about this car besides, honestly, the only thing that's stock about this car is the block. ABS has been deleted. It's got a big turbo, a Garrett turbo. It's got a built head.
AC's been deleted.
AC is still there, but currently does not work. It's hot as shit is right. So the AC does not like to blow cold air. It only blows hot air. But it's got suspension, HKS drag. It's got a built head. It's got bigger intercooler, turbo, 2 wastegates.
Size turbo?
It is what is it? GTX 3584.
So a 67 mil?
Yeah.
That's a pretty treatable turbo for this setup.
Yeah, it spools up nice. It's definitely a fun, like, daily driver. I think once I build the block, I'm definitely gonna go a bigger turbo setup, just because I want it to make more power. And then I just got to build the tranny and the block.
Then you're done?
No, then the car is probably gonna go in for full paint, keeping it the factory color. Once the motor's out, I'll have them paint the whole engine bay, redo the interior. Probably change the wheels up. These were the wheels that originally came with the car, and I bought it from the older guy. I just powder coated them black. New brakes. It's gonna be never ending. It's just literally.
Well, I have to say this car is pretty awesome. So,
I appreciate it.
Did you get this thing before the market kind of exploded, or did you pay full retail on this thing? Because you could probably attest to the fact that these are going up in value like crazy right now.
Yeah, so I think I jumped on. It was a little bit higher than they were back when I was in like high school, because you could have got one back then for like 28. I probably paid double that for the car itself, and then the money I put into it. But yeah, some of them are going for like 100, 140. I just saw one the other day with accidents on it going for what, I think there was two and change.
And it was automatic too, right?
Automatic
with like 130,000
target
miles.
top with 130,000 miles, and it went for over 200,000.
I saw that too on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah, they said it was because of the blue color. I'm not a big fan of the blue, but
this is pretty rare as well. I mean, you mentioned it was wingless and a hardtop. Most of these are Targas, correct?
Yeah, most of them come when you have the turbo and the 6-speed manual. They come with a target top and also come with a wing. This was ordered from the factory, wingless and hardtop, which makes it super rare.
This thing's pretty sick. You have anything done to the interior?
No, the interior is basically the stock interior. It just has like a gauge for the AEM standalone setup, and then it just has like an aftermarket radio because the factory radio didn't really work. Other than that, the interior stock.
Quite a bit of work done to this car. Who did the work? You do it yourself, or did you bring it to a shop?
No, I dropped it off at Petroworks. It was like a 12-month build. They had it for 12 months.
Where are they?
They're over on like Wellwood, over in like Lindenhurst area.
Okay.
Yeah.
They specialize in Supras, or?
He has a Supra himself. He does work on Supras, but he was recommended by someone, so I basically dropped the car up there to get the stuff done. It took a while to get everything done. Still, all the kinks are not fixed. Car's tuned a few times by Alpha, and the car still doesn't run correctly.
No?
No. I don't really drive it much. I probably put 500 miles on it since I built it.
Really? And how long ago did you get that work done? Or how long have you had the car? You pretty much got it work done right away, right?
Yeah, I've had the car for like almost 2 years, and I dropped the car off 2 months after I bought it. So the car was there for like 10 or 11 months getting work done, and since I've had it from them for like 8 months or whatever, I probably put 500 miles on it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just an annoying car to drive when it doesn't really want to idle and stuff.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, where do you think you're going to bring it going forward? Do you have another shop in mind?
I'm probably going to send it out of state to Florida.
Florida?
I would like Real Street to do it, except the fact that they're not really building cars right now.
They're not?
No, they're not really taking on new projects.
Kind of need a little bit of an in to get in with those guys.
And I think it's because I call them True Street once in a while.
True Street,
don't take it serious.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, eventually I'm sure you're going to get it down to Florida, and this thing's going to run proper. You said it's a factory block. It's not built?
No, it's not a built block. Factory block, built head.
So pretty much most of the stuff is just bolt on, and the car still doesn't really like to cooperate?
Yeah.
It's not really that complicated, right?
No. It's mostly all bolt-ons.
Stuff you could probably do in your garage?
I've done it plenty of times myself. This is actually the only car that I've ever had a shop build. All my other cars were done by me.
And you work a lot, right? That's why you just drop it off. You just don't have the time?
Yeah, I probably work 70 hours a week, so I figured I'd let somebody else do the job. But
I get it, man. I get it. Well, it's the foundation's there. You just need a little bit of TLC, and this thing looks like it's ready to make some serious power.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Supras are pretty expensive. The work you did, you know, these parts are very nice parts. You said you had a Exity triple disc, a carbon disc clutch, which is like $5,000 alone just for that piece. I mean, it's a lot of money put in this car, as you can see. And this house is fucking huge. What do you do to kind of afford all this stuff?
So I entered the car business about like 5 years ago. So I was a finance manager, and now I'm the director of finance for Empire Auto Group, their Jeep store. So that's why I work so much. So that's really where all my funds come from, is from working every day.
And what do you do at Dodge Jeep?
Oh, I'm the finance director. So I'm the one that has to get like loans bought and stuff. I do the loans. I'm the last person you sit with before leaving with a car. So every customer that comes in to get a Jeep has to sit with me, or at least have to touch their paperwork to make sure it's done correctly.
So you're the guy that decides if they get a good deal or a bad deal.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
you.
the one that has the credit license plate on my Tesla.
That's awesome, man. Well, it seems to be working out for you. Quick question. Someone looking to get into a car like this, knowing that they're, I guess, expensive and they're obviously an investment. Sometimes you don't always lose out on things you invest in. What advice would you give someone looking to get into a car like this?
Honestly, the best advice for that would be, depending on the car someone's buying, they're not always something that you're gonna obviously make money on. Most of them you put money into and you don't get any of the money you put back. But I would say kids that are growing up, if you can't afford the car cash, I wouldn't buy it. Taking on a loan for something like this, but then also putting money into it, is a very risky thing to do.
I think people forget that these cars are problematic. So it's not a one and done deal. You're gonna buy the car, you're gonna dump money into it, and when you start putting parts like this onto it, sometimes they become less reliable, and it's just an ongoing cycle.
Correct. It's always something you need to have money in the bank for, because before you know it, you replace a turbo, that turbo makes the motor blow, now you're building the motor again. You just built the motor.
Right.
It's a never-ending cycle. So unless you have cash sitting aside, I would say you could buy something like this. If not, I would start off with something much cheaper, maybe like a Honda or something, just to get into the scene, because the parts are much cheaper and more reliable.
Like a Kia.
Or yeah, you could do that
Kia
too.
Soul.
It comes with a 10-year, 100,000 mile bumper to bumper, so you don't have to worry about anything with the car. No, I would say like a Civic. Civic motors are cheap, the parts are cheap.
I thought there was gonna be a Dodge plug. No?
I wouldn't buy a Dodge.
No.
If you bought a Hellcat, maybe, but not for your first car. Too much power.
What about a Jeep?
You could do a Jeep. You could turbo like a Wrangler. I had an SRT Wrangler.
What about like
Great
a
on gas.
Jeep Compass?
You could do that too.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to.
Got good rates?
Yeah, they do 0% for 72 months.
0%. Sounds good. All right, well, I guess that kind of sums up the Supra.